Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to make this video talking about virtual estimates and how this can really level up your cleaning service. So virtual estimates is a relatively new process that I've discovered really after working with a bunch of different clients and seeing how people conduct their different estimate processes. So I've kind of seen like the very bare bones side of things where people just give a prospect a price over the phone, and then I've also witness people that do the most time-intensive version of this, which is actually visiting the home before they even give a quote, do a proper walkthrough in person with the prospect, and then give them a price at the end. And if you look at both of these like different options, the one starting off, which is just giving up a quote over the phone or over email, whatever it is the least time intensive, but it's also the most scalable. Whereas the in-person option, you can't really scale this. It's way more time intensive, but it's also going to give you the better conversion rates, theoretically speaking. But then you take virtual estimates, which is kind of in the middle. And I think this is why this method is a very promising option for a lot of you who kind of feel like you're, let's say you don't have a ton of time, but you also want to maximize your conversion rates when you're giving a quote to a prospect. So how do you do virtual estimates? Well, you can do this either over Zoom or FaceTime. Those are probably going to be the best two options for you. And essentially how it looks like is, let's say you get a lead into your funnel. So they filled out a form on your website. Perhaps they just called your number on your site or Google page, or maybe it was even someone who came through like a social media channel or through a third-party site. Whatever it is, they've essentially raised their hand and made that first initiation to speak to you to get a quote for their home. Your next stage is, before you give them a price or before you tell them that you're going to show up to their home, you take that middle option, which is saying, great, let's schedule a virtual estimate so I can check out your home, see what's going on, and provide you with an accurate assessment. Sound good? 9 times out of 10, they'll be cool with it, and then that's when you could schedule that virtual estimate. That's pretty much how our process looks like. We typically do something like this on the thank you page of our funnel, meaning after someone opts into a form, then they have the option to book one of these virtual estimates through like an online calendar like Calendly or Acuity or something like that. And that's what we found to work the best if you want to like automate this process a little bit. But if you have to manually send the link to people every time, like that's fine too, right? This was something that I used to think was just like optional, meaning if a client, if they felt comfortable doing it, then I'd say awesome, go for it. And if they weren't doing it for their business, they didn't really know about it, again, I would just be like, awesome, don't worry about it. But now my perspective is shifting a little bit to where I think most people should be doing this method. And that's because I've noticed that the clients that we're working with that are really crushing it, and they're converting all of their cold traffic, or seemingly all of it, at least a good chunk of it, into jobs and even into recurring clients, which I'm going to explain in a second. I thought to myself, okay, there's a big discrepancy between the people that are doing this and that aren't doing this. Maybe there's something to this method. And what I found out is that when your prospects have the option to see your face, they can see your mannerisms, kind of like how you're looking at me right now. And you ask the right questions, you show professionalism, you show your personality through, just the way you speak and have like an actual genuine conversation with these prospects. They're going to feel way more comfortable about not only letting you into their home, but they're just going to have way more confidence that you know what you're doing, that you're going to provide a quality service, and your conversion rates just naturally will go up. Trust me, guys, if you're struggling to convert people over the phone, assuming that you have the time or at least somebody that you can outsource this to, absolutely give it a shot, because I guarantee you'll close more people like this. And another thing that I didn't really get into yet, which is talking about recurring clients. So you know me, I'm big on having my clients convert as many people into recurring as possible. And having a virtual estimate actually pre-sells people into recurring. Yes, you heard that right. Before you've even done your first initial clean for them, a good chunk of these people are already going to be contemplating if they want you to service them, every 2 weeks or every month, just based on the questions that you ask, your personality, all those factors I just went into. So as you can see, there's a lot of advantages to this. Now, one of the biggest challenges or potential hurdles I've seen is that people will sometimes ask me, well, I don't feel like I'm the best on camera. Maybe I don't have the right personality for this. How do I know what questions to ask? And guys, you have to understand that the prospects talking to you, they're not going to be paying attention to what your hair looks like. You know, if you're talking in like a very deep tone versus a slightly shallower tone, or they're not going to be looking at cues that are sales related. Even though we're thinking these things inside of our minds, people are way more self-conscious about themselves on camera. So what I'm trying to say is that, you know, these people are going to be in their mind, if anything, about what they look like and what they sound like and what their home looks like. So it's just your job to be that authority, ask the right questions, make them feel comfortable. And if you have all those things, then you're already professional enough to really go about this method. So this is just a summary, again, of what I've seen. You know, my clients that do the more traditional, just giving them a price over the phone or over an email, you know, sending them a quote. I've just seen the conversion rates on that to be so low that I really don't think it's worth it if you're trying to maximize your sales, especially if you have the extra time to actually do these virtual estimates. Right? So don't avoid them just because it might be a little uncomfortable at first. Do it for every single prospect until you no longer have any time to do it anymore, and then that's when you can outsource this. So guys, give this tip a shot and let me know if it works for you. Drop a comment below. I'll catch you guys next time.